Welcome back, ALC crew. I hope you all had a restful winter break. I'm looking forward to working with all of you again as we move into American Literature and Composition Semester 2. So here we are, Week 1, 2021. This week we'll continue our focus from the last few weeks of Semester 1, where we examine the challenges that American Indian people face in maintaining their cultural identity in mainstream American society, this time through a novel study. Here's what's on the agenda for this week. Semester 2 expectations, the Roundhouse intro, Chapter 1 journal, and this week's to-do. Semester 2 expectations. These expectations will capture what will be expected of you as students and what you can expect of me as your teacher. First, expectations of you. 1. Log in on time every day. Your presence is essential. If you're unable to join for some reason, please let me know in advance of the tardy or the absence. 2. Participate. I urge you to take part in class discussions either in spoken or written form. 3. Assignment completion. Complete all assignments to the best of your ability and submit by the specified deadline. 4. Be original. Do not appropriate someone else's work as your own. I know you are all capable of producing your own work that is insightful, thought-provoking, and most importantly, your own. And 5. Find passion. I invite you to find something about the content we cover, the big questions we wrestle with, the literature and the writing that you are passionate about. Now, what can you expect from me? 1. Fairness and understanding. I understand we are all trying to make it work during a difficult time and that each of your circumstances are different. If there's a reason why you cannot complete an assignment, participate in a discussion, or make a deadline, please reach out to discuss. 2. Manageable workload. I will make sure that the work we do in this class is reasonable and meaningful. 3. Timely grading. As with the first semester, you can count on your work being graded and feedback provided in a timely manner. 4. Connection to the real world. All of the content that we'll focus on in this class is a direct through line to events and lived experiences of people in America. My hope is that you find ways to make connections to your world through the reading and writing that we do here. And 5, showcasing your work. One of the most powerful features of organized education in any format is the opportunity to share your voice by having your work reflected back to you and your community. As in the fall, this semester I look forward to showcasing your writing and creative work for our class community to see and hear. This semester we'll have an added opportunity to share your work through audiovisual formats. This will carry an extra credit point value on top of the assessed score of your work. Your first assignment of the semester will be the student contract that formalizes these 10 expectations. Please find this assignment on Canvas under Week 1, 2021. Now that we have our Semester 2 expectations established, let's begin our next novel study, The Roundhouse. The Roundhouse, published in 2012, was written by Louise Erdrich, daughter of a German-American father and mother of Chippewa descent. It takes place on a Chippewa reservation in Minnesota. The story is told through the eyes of Joe Coots, a 13-year-old Chippewa boy who struggles with power and powerlessness, an unfair justice system, gender dynamics, and his own coming of age as he tries to reconcile a horrific crime committed against his mother, Geraldine. We'll begin this novel similar to how we began the last, by establishing major themes. This story has a strong focus on the following: power and powerlessness, growing up, trauma and misogyny, native traditions, storytelling, and justice. Think of these themes as idea magnets as you're reading. Plot details, character actions, dialogue, context, all of these will cling to these themes and prepare us as readers to attain a clearer understanding of the author's message. For example, as we begin reading on Chapter 1, we'll make some observations such as on page 14 when Joe asks his Aunt Clemence about the rape his mom suffered. Was it rape? I asked her. Yes, she said. There was something else, I said. Continues a bit later. Will she die from it? No, said Clemence immediately. She won't die, but sometimes. She bit down on her lips from the inside so they made a frowning line, and she squinted at the picture. It's more complicated, she said finally. You saw that she was hurt, real bad? Yes, I saw. Our eyes filled with tears and we looked away from each other, down at Clemence's purse as she dug in it for Kleenex. So here, knowing that trauma and misogyny is one of the primary themes of the story, we'll make a connection. This interaction between Joe and his aunt is a demonstration of how trauma and misogyny play out in the context of this story, how it affects the characters. And beneath this, we begin to ask ourselves what the author, Erdrich, might be suggesting about trauma and marginalized people such as Joe and his family. To help us understand the chapter as we read it, I provided a list of guiding questions. Think of this as a trail of breadcrumbs to help you understand key plot points as you read. But what are we doing with this text beyond just appreciating it? Like in the fall, our focus is sharpening our ability to write clear, cogent CW arguments. This revolves around the XYZ formula we became so familiar with in the fall. Pro tip: if you're ever wondering, what do I do with this passage, this chapter, this character detail, ask yourself the question, how is the author using some technique to send a certain message? This one approach alone will carry you far. So for our first journal entry of the semester, we'll focus on this notion of trauma. Here it is. Journal 1. Compose a clear, thorough CW paragraph that utilizes the XYZ formula and 2 quotes from the text to address the following. Choose one of the following characters in the first chapter: Joe, Basil, or Clemens. How does the violence committed against Geraldine in the first chapter affect this character? How does the complicated justice system on the reservation amplify the trauma for your chosen character? As you plan your response, consider the following claim starter. In Chapter 1 of The Roundhouse, Erdrich, X, uses this literary device, Y, to show how chosen character experiences or expresses trauma over the violence committed against Geraldine, Z. So what do we have to do? 1. Complete your student contract. This will be 10 points. 2. Read Chapter 1 of The Roundhouse. 3. Write Chapter 1 journal. This will be 20 points. And 4. Extra credit. To earn an additional 5 points, you may share your journal entry with our ALC community of learners. If interested, please create and submit a 1-minute recording of you voicing your journal entry. Consider using your mobile device's recording app. Submit the audio recording in addition to your written entry via Canvas. By submitting your voice journal, you agree to having it included in one of these class videos that we share with our ALC classes. Due to time constraints, some voice journals may not be featured in a class video. Next week, we'll dive deeper into the story as we examine chapters 2 and 3 of The Roundhouse. Well, that's it for this one, ALC crew. We'll see you in virtual class. In the meantime, stay safe, stay focused, and stay connected.